That way I can be clear for y'all. Let's get into this.
Sir.
Before the jury comes back in, can I have about 3 minutes of time? I'd like to address something.
Else?
Your ruling's done. You've already ruled. That's fine. We accept that. But I do want to address something that I want the court to address.
Sure.
And I just need about 3 or 4 minutes. I've got to say this because I've been sitting there after our conversations. Let me just preface it by saying, in any of our objections, whatever, you make a ruling. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, we move on. That's fine. If after your ruling, I've got a case that I want to bring to your attention, I say, Judge, reconsider your ruling based on this case, and you consider it, that's fine. If you don't want to consider it, that's fine too. But what I found objectionable, and I want the court to address with the state, is what happened at the bench earlier. There was an objection to the video, you made a ruling, we moved on. The state came back up and made representations to you. And they weren't representations based upon some new case law that they had found. There were representations, misrepresentations that were made directly to you, all of us standing there right there at the bench. She said something very, very fact specific in an attempt to get you to readdress the issue again. Madam Prosecutor said, I want you to listen to the 17-second video, because what you had based your ruling on was that the parties in the background couldn't be identified, right? And Madam Prosecutor said,
this dude is mad. This dude is mad. He's just mad for no reason. He just grabbed the mic real quick.
To you, and was not accurate. And I'm going to be charitable and say that she was disingenuous. What she said was, these people in the background, the only thing that you hear are people saying, yeah, yeah. That's it. When Mr. Steele corrected her and said that's not true, she said, Mrs. Steele is not accurate. What Mrs. Steele just told you is not true. The only thing you can hear in the background is yeah, yeah. And actually, when she stepped up there, it was in an attempt to act as though she didn't know what your ruling previously was, because their attempt was to go ahead and play the video at that time, despite your previous ruling. My point is this. After you decided to reconsider, you want to hear the video yourself, you had a chance to hear it. You had a chance to hear what we had already heard, what we knew it said, what they knew it said. And there are at least 5 or 6 different things on that video audio that were in contradiction of what Madam Prosecutor said. On God, snitching bitches, I'ma tell a lie on God. That's
on
what
God.
I'm talking about. No back and forth with you, bro. Fuck nigga. I'm not just saying that for emphasis. I'm saying that because what she said to you was inaccurate. At some point, Your Honor, I'm asking you to. We've had this conversation about candor with the court over the course of the past number of weeks.
3.3.
Yeah. We've had that conversation about it. And when we step up to you and we make a representation, it ought to be candid and it ought to be truthful. And what she said, and look, if she wins the motion, ultimately she wins. But you don't do it by standing there 3 feet from you in your face and lying to the court. And that's what she did. And she knew what she was doing. And
she was lying.
Right.
She was lying.
Mrs. Steele said, Your Honor, I am willing to
Did y'all not pay attention to Mr. Steele, bro? Come on.
Surrender my bar card and have her surrender her bar card if what she is saying is true. He wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong. She was not candid with the court. And at some point, you've got to say to the parties, if I'd done that, I would expect you to say, Mr. Adams, don't do that again. Don't step up to me and lie to try and get me to rule or overrule something I've already ruled on. Don't do it again. You ought to say that to them. We're not playing games in this courtroom. These are these people's lives at stake. And like I said, sometimes you win a motion, sometimes you lose. But you don't get the court to address something or readdress something like that. That's all. Say something to them is all I'm requesting.
All right, sir.
He had a valid point. He had a valid point.
Your Honor. I would not have asked
That boy
the
had a
court
valid point.
to listen to the 17-second video.
But what you did tell me, Ms. Love, wasn't the entirety of what was purportedly on states 112 Bravo. It did have other statements.
Dude, it's like a big shit show going on. Like it's like one big shit show. Like I don't think they're ever gonna resolve anything. This is gonna be like the YNW Melly case, and it's gonna drag on for so long.
It's different if you'd have told me, Judge, there are statements on there. Probably need to listen to them for yourself. Not just yeah.
Your Honor, my recollection, and I'm going to speak candidly because it's been
I would
all
hope
along.
there would be nothing less than candor.
And Your Honor, that's what I've been pushing for all along. There have been times, as the court is aware, that we have been at the bench and misrepresentations, bald misrepresentations have been made, and the court has seen my reaction to them. I am the one that's constantly saying I have a duty of candor to the court.
All of you do. All of you do.
We do. And when Mr. Adams just read those series of things that he read, those half of what he said, I didn't catch. The part that I did catch and remember is the part I kept repeating just now, snitching bitches. And I didn't even recall that part was there. But what I did know was that the relevant portion and the relevant speaker was Mr. Williams. And Your Honor, I'd ask, we can do this in chambers or wherever, but Your Honor, I believe that certain requests and comments to the court have risen to a level of being not true motions or requests based on legal analyses, but more leveled specifically on a personal level, which I've attempted to stay away from. Whatever one's reason for doing what they do, if it's to better advocate for their client, that is fine. They're entitled.
Well, you're not entitled to do everything.
She's not understanding it. She must be a new attorney or something. This lady must not know really what she's talking about or what she's doing, because she's not even putting up a good case. Like, listen to her. She sounds literally like unprofessional.
In whatever position you're from, be it the state or be it the defendants, because you have a overall right of candor, responsibility of candor to the court.
Does anybody know what candor means? Does anybody know what candor means? Candor. Does anybody know what candor means?
I agree, Your Honor.
There's certain things you just cannot do anyways.
Oh, a candor not?
Advocacy is one thing, but it should never be confused for misstatements or for anything else that's not less than candid to the court. I think both sides, you all are fighting very diligently and valiantly about your respective sides. And as
like a damn war.
I said a couple of days ago,
this is like a war going on, guys. This is a war for Young Thug's freedom right here. Like, this is give or take like one of the most hectic times of his life probably he's ever gone through.
But the public
Mark my words.
is, there's friction between the state, the defense, and the court. That is natural, and it is good for the system because it shows that we are not in collusion with one another. Justice is what it will be, and whatever this jury will decide. But what I am going to just advise everyone to kind of relook is what you tell each other, what you tell me, because there have been times where I have not received, I would consider what is accurate information. Let me just put it that way. Okay. And I know, and I'm not trying to attribute, dishonesty to any party, but
why they call lawyers liars?
All courts have to rely upon counsel for their representation. So if you can't remember what it is, just tell me that. It's just remember at the end of the day, this won't be the last case you try one another, and won't be the last issue that you try. So do a better job at least forecasting what is going to be tendered or submitted so that we can minimize delay.
Tendered?
So,
the language that they use is kind of sus, don't y'all think?
And to the extent you all started to do that, it seems to be working a little bit better.
Again, this is
we'll see.
brought to you by Law and Crime, the Law and Crime channel. Go subscribe to them. They're the reason why I have this content right here and bringing it to y'all. So yeah, just keep getting
how
into it.
goes. All right. All right. So I have ruled upon 112 Bravo Bravo. What I'd like to do is
Not looking good for Thug.
how much do you have?
Not looking good.